Now, Canada and China have struck a deal that will slash tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles and Canadian farm products. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and China's Xi Jinping announced the preliminary agreement after talks in Beijing.
The deal will allow 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles to enter the Canadian market at a lower tariff rate in exchange for tariff relief on agricultural products like canola. And the concern now is that Chinese vehicles will flood the market, worsening an already dire situation.
We're not going to be able to compete with these Chinese EV imports because it's subsidized by a communist government.
What you're seeing here is the result of China's wasteful and frankly disgusting overproduction onslaught. The CCP decided that they want China to be the #1 leader in production of EVs, and so subsidized, enabled, encouraged, and pushed Chinese companies to pump out unlimited, cheap, substandard, and mostly garbage electric cars. No one wants them, and there are so many of them now that they're lining the streets, filling up fields, filling up shipping ports, and even filling up parking lots abroad, like the water park in Australia that had its entire parking lot infested with crappy, unsold BYD cars just being stored there. Because, why not? Decades worth of pollution created for what? For nothing, for a cash grab? And now you just got remnants of these trash bicycles everywhere in China. Ridiculous. Same thing's happening with the EVs. And unfortunately, we're encouraging them by buying these Chinese EVs. We shouldn't be. Because, let's face it, they suck. I'm sorry. I understand that there are some good models, good value for money. There are some big marques that are getting a lot of press, especially when they buy out these, what would you call them, motoring journalists, and fly them over there to go and take a look at all the fancy new cars that are just knockoffs of existing cars. But I will concede that they do make some nice EVs. But that is the minority, a very small percentage, because the majority of the EVs being produced by China are absolute garbage. Not only are they trash and have a lot of quality control issues, and they break down and their brakes fail and their suspension snaps and things like that, and the wheels come off and what have you, but they're a hazard, because if you have a crash, the airbags don't go off. And this is even in the top-end models. I've shown plenty of the top leading, flagship cars, that the airbags don't go off in an accident. I got tons of videos about this you can check out. Not only that, but they trap people inside and burn them to death. The risk of a fiery explosive death is higher than any EV owner would like to acknowledge, especially Chinese EV owners, with scores of fires and explosions happening daily in China. This man simply wanted to drive his car when it suddenly alerted him to a fault and started catching fire. Thank goodness it alerted him in time. But it's not just the threat of a fiery self-immolation that fancy new Chinese EVs pose. No. There are increasingly more threats and hazards posed by even the poshest and most expensive brands and models. What I'm about to show you will have you on the edge of your seat. This high-tech and brand new Chinese EV suddenly lost control and accelerated at full speed without warning. Smashing into other cars, motorized tricycles, trash cans, and more. But that's not the worst part. If you look at the car, the airbags didn't deploy. This is more common than you think. I've previously reported on airbags failing to deploy on brand new and even flagship Chinese EVs in the past. Why are brand new Chinese EVs facing so many problems? Why are they bursting into flames all over the place? Why is it that their self-driving features are failing and sending people to their deaths and putting people in very awkward situations, smashing into things all the time? Why is it that the airbags are not deploying in these fancy, brand new Chinese EVs? The Chinese EV industry is like a Ponzi scheme, and it's probably going to fall down very soon.